Does Zenith? I will say the name like all the time differently. I will say it. But does it deserve the hype that it gets currently? That's a different style of video. But I mean, we should talk about it. We should talk about if Zenith deserves the hype that it currently gets. The VR community is really hyped about this game. There's a lot of content already out for this game, but nobody's talking about, does this game deserve the hype that it currently gets? I mean, to answer this question, we maybe have to look into the game and how it became this hype. Zenith is an anime-style MMO that's coming out on the 27th this month, and it got already a lot of attention back in the summer 2019. The game got funded on Kickstarter back in 2019, and the Kickstarter campaign was created by Andy Thiessen. I hope I say the name right. I say names completely wrong all the time. I'm sorry. But he's one of the founders of Zenith. And on the campaign itself, it says this VR game should be focused on fighting, crafting, and exploring. Also, there will be a lot of things like world events in the game where everybody can join, as this game is completely designed as an open world. Long story short, the game got funded on Kickstarter in 4 hours and created a huge hype for this game already in the first couple of hours. We are really close to the release. I mean, it's tomorrow. And I was lucky enough to play already Alpha 1, Alpha 2, Beta 1 and Beta 2. And I still ask myself, does this game deserve this hype that it gets? I could answer this question really quickly and say yes or no. But I mean, then this video had no sense. And I mean, I want to talk about the whole thing that I'm thinking about the game and why I think this will be my answer that I will tell you at the end of the video. You just have to skip forward, like skip into the end, and you will know, does it deserve or does it not. Just do it. Or just follow me into the intro. Before I want to talk about the game mechanics and the game itself, I want to tell you how I found the game. The game got my attention last year in summer on Twitter. They announced they will be selling a free versions of the game that also give you the possibility to join into alphas and betas. If I remember back to my first time I joined the game in the Alpha 1, the first thing you see is like the login screen, and I can tell you this is the worst part of the game. It didn't feel good, it didn't look good, it didn't fit into the game at all. But after the login, after the loading in, the game feels like it's made for VR. The gameplay, the UI in the game are really on point. They are really easy to use. They're easy to understand. For example, spells. You can feel the game is made by people who love VR and playing VR itself, and not just being a game company and just try to get into VR. All the things like this are not just simple ports from a desktop game directly into VR. They are designed and developed for VR. Talking about the spells, I use the most of the time the mage class. So you are like a mage, you can make spells. You can feel like you're Avatar on in the game. Like if you watch this anime, it's one of the best. And I was really feeling like I'm Avatar on and I can control all the elements. The learning curve for how you use spells are really short. You will easily remember how you use different hand movements. You will just go into the fight and you will feel like, okay, I'm okay with this game and I'm already controlling all of my spells really easily. And at some point you don't even have to look at the UI to see if a spell is still on a cooldown. You have a floating UI the whole time in front of you with your level, mana, stamina, the floating UI in front of you. I will just call it floating UI because that's what it is. It will just always follows you and will show up the whole time. But that's not all. There's some micro interactions on this UI. And that shows you that this game is made by people who love VR and know what they are doing. Because you can just easily grab into the quick slots and grab a cookie to get some healing. And then we have this big main UI. I mean, every game has it. Every game tries to handle this differently. But Zenith found an awesome way to like make it a good experience. I have to say, I will change the UI design a bit. When you open up the big main UI, you will have like a big dashboard in front of you. It's huge, I'm not gonna lie, but it doesn't matter because the UI will stay at the position where you spawned it. So you can walk on the back of the UI and the UI will stay at the position where you spawned it at the first time. So for example, if you change the armor of your character, you can just walk around to see the back of the armor as well. So you don't have to click button 100 times to see the back. And when you're done with changing some settings or managing your inventory, you are just walking away from your main UI. You're just walking away because the game will recognize you are done with editing. We will close this for you and you can just spawn it somewhere else. And then we have the big topic, socials. Socials is one of the most important parts currently in VR, because VR gives you the possibility to interact with people on the different way that you could do over a desktop game or a mobile game. It's not just simple, you can hear a voice of somebody. You can see him move around when you're talking with him. He is maybe using his hand. So this is another level of interaction with other people. And the social part is really deeply built into Zenith. When you start the game, you get into the global voice chat. It's a voice chat that's based on the location where you are on the map. So you hear the people around you, but if you walk away from them, you will not hear them anymore. If you come closer, you will hear them again. But if you want to just go into an event with only some friends, you can just easily friend up with this person and create a party, so you have your own voice chat. And the party voice chat is not based on location. You can hear him still when he is 100 meters away from you, when he is on a different location on the map. And also there's like easy reachable buttons to mute yourself or mute the chat at all, so you don't even have to interact if you don't want to or don't feel like you want to be interact with people around you. I mean, there's so many good things to talk about that I will not even mention or go deep in, but I want to mention some different things like gliding. Gliding is the next level of gliding in Zenith. You saw maybe already a couple of games where you can just glide instead of walking, but in Zenith it's even better because they introduced something that called sensitive gliding, and it gives you the possibility to glide downwards and get some energy and fly up into the sky with the energy that you got. It makes you feel like a glider, but as a human. So you can have fun with gliding around the world until your stamina runs out. But even for the stamina, you can just easily get upgrades. Find some crystals around the world that you can collect, and this will give you more stamina. Stamina basically limits your gliding, running, and climbing. So when you climb up a big tree, you could always fall down because you don't have enough stamina anymore. So it's really important that you upgrade your stamina as soon as possible. But as we talked about already, the social interactions in the game, it's also important to see if somebody is maybe cooking. So that's why when you're spawning your cooking station, that you can just spawn directly out of the main menu, everybody can see the kitchen and that you're interacting with it. You see the basics. By the way, cooking is so good in this game. It makes so much fun to cut down and put things into the pan and just get an awesome cookie out of a pan. Enough of celebrating the game. We should also talk about the downsides. If you were a streamer and tried to stream the game, you will notice that Zenith tried to make it as hard as possible, because in Alpha 1 they announced something like partner content creators. The team of Zenith picked some content creators that got featured on the Discord or on the social platforms. And that makes it hard for small streamers, while there is a big partnered content creator online that has drops enabled. And then for the viewer, there was nearly no European streamer in these content creators. So for a viewer, it was nearly impossible to get a key, as nobody streamed on European times. I have to mention that I was kind of partnered in the Alpha 1, but beside this messed up content partners, creators things, Zenith is handling the marketing really awesome. It's not all good, it's not all shiny. There are still a few unfinished areas of the map. You will see big deep holes where different areas of the map are merging. You will see mountains or buildings or trees without any hitbox. So when you climb or you try to walk on top of the mountain, you will fall through, as these things don't having any hitbox or any collision. And also when you climb up really high, you will notice that the map is not finished yet. I mean, climbing is one of the major part of the game. You can just climb up really high on a tree and you will see that they just didn't finish the map like 3 meters or 4 meters next to the way you're always walking. I mean, these are things that you can easily fix after the launch, because I don't want to fall into a hole when I walk into a next area of the map. So I hope you get a feeling for the overall feeling about the game and the mechanics. And I really hope you will experience the same enjoyment that I had when I joined the game the first time or the last times when I was testing the game. For me, it's one of the best VR multiplayers I ever played. And even for people who don't enjoy MMOs at all, will find some enjoyment in the game, as the cooking and social parts are already really awesome. And one of the best parts is it doesn't matter what headset you are using, because you can just join with your Quest, you can join with your PlayStation VR, or you're joining over Steam VR. Everybody can interact and play together. For me, Zenith, I will never learn it. Never. Feels like it's ready to release. There's still a lot of things to improve in the next couple of months and years, but this game feels already way better than the most of released VR games that I ever played. I'm really looking forward to see you all in this game, and I can tell you the game deserves the hype completely. But there's a problem. I will be not online on the first week of Zenith release, because my Twitch community got me into a Zenith jail. They just put me into a jail and I have to wait a week until I can play Zenith. Maybe I make a mistake with adding these kinds of channel points challenge. Too late. But you will find me on the 3rd of the next month in Zenith. And if you find me, if you see me, just reach out and I will give everybody free noodles. I will cook them in front of you. They are fresh and good. And there's nothing more to say. Only I hope you will subscribe and I hope you like the video. This kind of video format was completely new for me. I didn't do anything like this before, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it, and I hope I see you all in Zenith. See ya.